Hello everyone and welcome to Action RPG Build Guide Edition. Today I'm ready to drop on you my brand new Forge Guard Forged Weapons. If you are a fan of Spin to Win, if you are a fan of Suit of Armor, if you're a fan of Minions, this is going to be the build for you. As always, I will cover every single facet of the build. Everything is timestamped in the description below if you need to bounce around. Let's not waste any time and jump right into this. Starting off with the training dummy, just to show you how good this build is at single target, and you'll see the boss fight in a little bit. Once we fully buff our minions, you're talking 250 to 300 stacks of Ignite, 50 stacks of Bleed, 200 stacks of Armor Shred, and you have great base critical strike chance. I think the highest hit I saw, and remember they are attacking extremely fast, was, what was that, 181,000? Very strong forged weapons. So now let's check out some gameplay. What you're looking at right now is my Forge Guard forged weapons, and we are playing at corruption 286. So we are not just starting empowered, we are beginning our push. The skills we are using is Void Cleave, and this is a traversal skill, but what you took this skill for is you want to Void Cleave into your forged weapons, and it is going to super boost them. We have Sigils that are on instant cast that is going to give you survivability and more damage. We have Forge Strike, and we use this when we need weapons in a jam, because you can make them when it hits an enemy. But more importantly, it's going to give our forged weapons a lot more damage from the nodes in the tree that you will see when I break down the skills. For our meat shield, we are using Manifest Armor, and for this build, we've been testing, and I actually have some damage reflect in it as well. And then, of course, we are spinning to win. And the build literally could not be simpler. You spin. Spinning makes forged weapons. You Void Cleave into the forged weapons, and then you make your sigils when you need more damage and more survivability. I probably shouldn't have been standing in that earthquake. Single target is crazy. Let's fight a Shade of Oribus. Corruption 250 Shade of Oribus. Build up your 12 weapons. We should absolutely eat them alive. Watch this. First phase done. Second phase done. Third phase done. And Shade of Oribus smoked. Single target is insane. Let me show you how to recreate this build. So now let's break down the skills, starting with Warcry, and I'll show you which way you want to go on the skills. When you're looking at Warcry, the first thing you want to do is go down and to the right. This is going to unlock your forged weapons. This means when you are spinning, you will be making forged weapons all the time. You're then going to come down here because you want to move as quickly as possible. You don't want to be spinning super slow. It just feels like a slog if you don't take it. Then you want to come up here, and something new is we are actually using a two-handed axe, and because of that, we're just going to get some added leech, which is going to give you some added survivability. Remember, you only want this node if you are using an axe. Moving over to Sigils. Now for this build, we're trying to squeeze as much damage as humanly possible out of our forged weapons. So the first thing you want to do is come over here and get damage granted per sigil. This will buff your forged weapons. Fire damage, this will buff your forged weapons. We're going to take it as an instant cast so we could use it while spinning. Then we're going to come over here and get some survivability with endurance threshold, extra time, and an extra sigil. We are then going to take Forge Strike. And for Forge Strike, you want to come to the right first, and you want to snag all of these nodes. What these are going to do is they are going to buff your forged weapons. Even though you're not using this skill very often, it is very important to make it the most important skill to give your forged weapons more damage. You want to come down here and boost its multiplicative damage, come up here and boost its attack speed, and these 2 points will boost its area. Now you want to take it and give it no cooldown, so if you ever need some quick forged weapons, you spam Forge Strike, and you have a 15 or 60% chance to just make a bunch of weapons. For Manifest Armor, there's lots of good stuff in here. But mainly what you want to do is you want to come up first and give it your equipped weapon. You are then going to come up and give it its equipped armor and more melee damage per armor. You're then going to go 3 points on Greaves, 3 points on Helm. And something new to this build is we're actually adding in some Thorns or damage reflect. And we're taking Vengeful Guardian, and we're taking Thorn Mail. Manifest Armor, thorns. Last skill, Void Cleave. Here you want to come up and to the left. How this works is you want to Void Cleave into your weapons, which is going to give them a huge boost to their damage. You're then going to come down and turn this into a traversal skill so you can easily Void Cleave into them, and it gives you a movement skill. You then want a larger area so it's easier to hit them all, and then quicker cooldown recovery. Those are the skills. Moving over to the passive tree, at time of recording, I am level 95, and I'll talk about the final 5 points. Now, in the base Sentinel tree, right now we have 5 into Fearless. We do not need resistances, and we don't need the strength, so we're just taking the vitality. 5 into Armor Clad, 5 into Charge, and 5 into Relentless. This gives you increased stun immunity duration. It's just a nice little survivability you can get with Relentless now. So 20 points into the base tree. Moving over to Forge Guard, I have taken every single node that buffs our character, that buffs minions. Now, just know that for almost 10 hours, I tested this with a shield and with Ring of Shields. I did everything in my power to try and make the shield work, and we couldn't do it. I mean, we were progressing. We got to Corruption 200, but we were definitely a little tankier, but we just didn't do enough damage, so we were killing things super slow. And the second I switched it up and went back to a two-handed with Void Cleave, we started flying. So the build is definitely buffed. If you want to try it, you can go into Ring of Shields without Void Cleave. I couldn't make it work. So we have Battle Hardened, Unflinching, Smelters. This is all minions, Iron Attunement, Hammer of Anvil. This is Armor Shred and increased melee, increased attack speed per mana cost. Folded Steel, maximum forged weapons. We took armor for our minions and ourselves and less damage over time. These gets buffed when you use a potion. And then 8 into Avatar of War. And again, all these other nodes do not help us because they require a shield. Now you'll need to put 15 points into Paladin to unlock Sigils. Right now we got 8 into Defiance, 2 into Valor, and 5 into Blinded Light. Now remember that they have updated Blind Chance. And when you blind an enemy, they can no longer crit. So you need no crit avoidance, and you need no less damage taken from critical strikes if you can blind the target. So for in this case, we are spinning, we're hitting enemies, so we are blinding them. So that is how I have worked it out. Now, you are going to have 5 points left over. For me right now, just like you saw with Manifest Armor, I've gone a little bit into Reflect. So we put 8 points into Thornmail. My next point is going to go right here into Thornmail. And then I will have 4 more. So I'll have 4 more points. 2 of them are going to go right here to just boost our endurance and our blind chance. And then I'll have 2 remaining points. You could put these wherever you want. You can up your base health. You can up your health and necrotic resistance. You can go into strength and resistances. You can go into vitality. You can boost your stun avoidance. Those final 2 points are yours. Moving over to last Epoch tools, let's talk blessings, idols, and gear, starting with blessings. And like always, you have tons of options, and we have spec'd into survivability. You have void resistance, all resistance, armor while channeling. Obviously, while you're spinning to win, you want to be as tanky as possible. Increased armor and mana just to boost your mana pool. And you could always switch out mana for resistance if you needed something different. Moving over to idols, the 2 main idols you want are double armor, and you guessed it, double armor. The other idols in here are just double health, some armor and health, and then just some resistances that we needed. But double armor is what you are looking for. Now, when you're looking at the gear, they are not required, but they are what make this build sing, and those are the brand new Phantom Grip rings, and you definitely want 2 of them. Because this is going to do something very important. 1, it's going to give your minions base crit chance. It is going to give you possibly +2 to skills. It is going to give you melee necrotic damage. It's going to boost their duration. But more importantly, the stats on your gloves apply to your forged weapons at up to 100% effectiveness, and these do stack. Which means you can get up to a 200% stat buff to your forged weapons. Now, just know that these are stats, not skills. You cannot make fire tornadoes from your forged weapons? I get that question all the time. So we are wearing 2 of the Phantom Grips, and I will take you through the other items. Helmet, Attunement, Manifest Armor, Amulet, Minion Mana, double health, Armor, Attunement, Level to Warpath, double health, Belt, Minion Mana, double health, Boots, Attunement, Movement, Armor, hybrid health, Gloves, Attack Speed Attunement, chance to apply Armor Shred and health. And remember, this will apply up to 200% to your forged weapons. That is why you want Attack Speed and Armor Shred. Relic, Attunement, Minion. And our weapon. This is the Obsidian Axe. It is increased minion damage, melee leech, mana, and double melee. And there are so many good affixes. You could also take minion physical penetration, and you could also take minion damage over time. All of that will buff your forged weapons. So now let's talk leveling. Aaron, this is great, but how do I get from level 1 to endgame? I will show you. There's really only 2 skills you need. The first one I would use is Rive. Rive is an amazing early, mid, and late game skill. The first thing you want to do is come over here to the right, boost your area, get some leech, and get kill threshold. This will make it where it'll cull enemies and bosses as you traverse the campaign. You then want to come down here and snag these nodes, which is going to boost your critical strike chance and boost your attack speed. That's all you will need with Rive. The second skill you want is a movement skill, and you have the options of lunge or shield rush. I like shield rush because you could traverse through the campaign so fast. Now, normally shield rush requires a shield, but you don't have to do that. If you come down here and snag dark rush, you no longer require a shield. So if you want, you can dual wield with Rive. You can use a two-handed, or of course, if you do use a shield, then you would not need to take dark rush. The third skill I would take is inside of Paladin, and that would be Sigils of Hope. I know you won't be able to unlock this for a little bit because you need to get 15 points into it, but all these other skills aren't going to really give you a lot. Rive and Shield Rush are the 2 big ones, but Sigils of Hope is just going to overall boost your damage. You can use it as an instant cast, and it's just going to allow you to traverse even faster. All right, everyone, that's the build guide. What do you think of my new Forge Guard forged weapons? Is there anything I missed? Is there anything I can do to take this to the next level? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. 2 asks at the end of the video. Ask number 1, I'm hoping today is the day I have earned your subscription. I'm hoping today is the day you make the decision to push that little red button. I would really appreciate it, but of course, only if you think I've earned it. If I haven't earned it, I'm going to work harder for you. Ask number 2, check out my Patreon. Thank you to the first 131 members that have signed up. Patreon is the best way to support into the future. You get access to the VIP lounge, movie night, game night, exclusive content. It is the first link in the description. And don't forget to get in the Discord. We are now over 4,200 action RPG enthusiasts. It's an awesome place to hang out. I'm done. Hopefully you're entertained or at least learned something. Aaron, out.